Ninny here from Napkins.com. Today I'm going to share with you how I decorated these paper mache eggs just in time for Easter. So we recently got in a variety of different paper mache eggs. These and all other supplies used in today's video can be found at Napkins.com. So we have two different sizes of the eggs that don't open. And then we have these eggs that open that you can store candy or a cool surprise inside. But for today's video, I'm going to be using the smaller eggs, which are 4 inches tall by 3 inches across. And I'm going to be using 3 of them. So I found some small lids that will help me to stand the eggs up. This will be especially helpful when they are drying. And first things first, we're going to paint the eggs. So I've chosen 2 colors here because I don't want the egg to be just a solid color. I want to give it a little bit more interest and make it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Picket Fence and Tapestry. Picket Fence is the bright white color. But really any shade of white and any shade of beige would have done quite nicely. Or you could even paint your egg, an eggshell blue. Fusion Mineral Paint has the color French Eggshell, which is really nice. For the most part, I prefer to use Fusion Mineral Paints when I'm doing my crafts because they just have exceptional coverage and they're just really nice paints to work with. We do sell these at Napkins.com as well. And I'm applying the paint with a sponge. And as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of the white paint and a little bit of the beige paint on my sponge, and then I'm just kind of dabbing it all over until I have a nice even coat. Now I painted the top half of that egg and then set it aside in my little lid to dry. And I skipped the video ahead a little bit so that you don't have to watch me paint all 3 eggs. But yeah, basically I'm just dabbing the paint on all over until I get the coverage that I want. I only ended up needing to use 1 coat of paint on these eggs, which is a testament to how good the coverage of Fusion Mineral Paint is. If you don't have Fusion Mineral Paint and you have no plan to purchase any at this time, but you have an abundance of other acrylic or craft paints, that's okay too. Any water-based paint will work for this project, but you may end up needing to apply 2 coats. You can even use chalk-style paints or clay-based paints such as Country Chic, which we also carry at Napkins.com. So for the decoupage part of my eggs, I'm going to be using rice paper. And we actually have quite a lot of designs that would work really well on this size of egg. So I'm just showing you some of them here, and I will link these on the project page on our website. But I'm going to be using this one. I love the neutral colored rabbits, and there's some cool like barns and windmills in the background. So the first thing I need to do is water cut these out. Now oftentimes when I'm working with rice paper I use a thicker brush, but because these circles or wreaths were fairly close together, I wanted to use a finer liner brush for my water cutting. So I'm just dipping my brush in a little bit of water, and then I'm painting the line that I want to cut, and then I'm pulling the rice paper apart. If you've ever worked with napkins, you'll notice that it is a little more difficult to pull the rice paper apart than it is the napkins. And if this is your first time decoupaging, I will point out that the reason that we water cut rather than use scissors to cut out our circles is because we want the rice paper to have a feathered edge. We don't ever want any straight edges when we're decoupaging, and that will just help to allow the paper to blend into the white background of the egg when we glue it down. Straight edges are very difficult to hide, whereas these feathered edges seem to just disappear. So I'm going to put 1 wreath on each side of my egg, so I'm going to need 6 images in total. And this sheet of rice paper actually repeats the 6 images twice, so you get 2 each of the same image. So I'm just going to repeat this process on the 6th circles that I have chosen. And again, I'm just painting a line with the water with my brush and then pulling the rice paper apart. You could attempt to do your tears without the water cutting, but I think you'll just find that the water makes the rice paper a little bit easier to tear, and it's a little bit more precise. So now that I have all 6 of my circles cut out, the next step is actually going to be to wet my rice paper. You can apply rice paper dry directly onto the egg, but something I've learned recently is that by spritzing the rice paper with water, and I like a fine mister bottle for this if you can find one. I bought some cheap ones off Amazon, which is what I'm using here, and I really don't like them. Most of them leaked and are now in the garbage. So if you can find a good one, I recommend spending a little bit more on these mister bottles. But yeah, so you're just going to mist the rice paper, and what that does is it kind of relaxes the paper and makes it more pliable, easier to wrap around a rounded surface. And it also, I find it absorbs the glue better, so you're less likely to have bubbling from dry spots on the bottom of your, like underneath your rice paper, so on your egg. And it just makes for a smoother, more wrinkle-free application of your rice paper, especially when you get into working with larger sizes of rice paper. So we're using Fusion's Decoupage and Transfer Gel to apply the rice paper onto the egg. If you ever see me do a video where I use napkins, I often use a varnish as my decoupage glue. But when I'm working with rice paper, I tend to prefer something a little bit heavier. So Fusion's Decoupage and Transfer Gel is my go-to whenever I'm working with printed rice papers. And I say printed rice papers because if you see me do an illuminated bottle with clear white rice paper, I do still use a varnish, but the white rice paper is quite a bit thinner than the printed rice papers that we carry. The other advantage of Fusion Decoupage and Transfer Gel is that it dries completely matte. So once it's dry, there's really no trace of it. So I'm just applying a generous layer with my 1-inch decoupage brush. You want to be pretty generous with this. I always say err on the side of too much gel rather than too little. You don't want globs and heaps of it, but you're not trying to apply a thin coat. It'll dry too quickly. And then I'm just going over the top of the rice paper again with my brush and the decoupage and transfer gel, and I'm applying quite a lot of pressure. If you've never worked with rice paper, it's a lot more durable than napkins. It's very unlikely to rip on you. You still really don't want to overwork it because once it gets wet and you really rub at it, you can start pulling off the ink. But with a wet brush, you can be pretty heavy-handed, and that will help you to smooth out any bubbles and wrinkles. So I'm just going to do one side of each of the eggs, and then I set them aside to dry, and then later I flip them over and I do the other side. I really, really like these rice paper designs on these eggs. I think they work really, really well for this. And shortly you're going to see I do a little bit of splattering with paint, which just kind of finishes the whole project, and not only helps again to make the egg look a little bit more realistic, but also when you splatter your decoupage projects, it can help to really tie together the parts that are rice paper and the parts that aren't, and really make it look like it's all part of the same paper, the same design. So I'm using, again, Fusion Mineral Paint, but this time the color is chocolate, which is a very, very dark brown. And splatter is one of those things that I think you think looks really easy, and I have just always struggled with. And there's lots of different ways that you can do the splatter technique, and it really depends on if you want large splatters or smaller splatters, or you want them to be kind of more varied or more uniform. So this is the way that I have always found works best for me. But I know that lots of people have their preferred method of splatter. But if you're trying to splatter for the first time and you find that it's not nearly as easy as it looks, I would agree with you there. I think that this is one of those things that, a lot of times you watch people do stuff in crafts and you think, oh, that's got to be really difficult. And then somebody shows you how, and you're like, oh, that's a lot easier than I would have expected. Whereas I find splatter is the total opposite. I think it looks really easy and straightforward. And it is, I have always found it very difficult to kind of get the splatter effect that I want. And oftentimes it's just having the right amount of water to paint ratio. So you just kind of have to play with it. But my biggest advice that I can give you is to always do a practice splatter off to the side somewhere and not directly on your project. And once you're satisfied with the results on your practice, you can go ahead. So I'll just explain exactly what I'm doing here. I have a wide fan brush. I've added a little bit of water to my paint, and now I'm hitting the fan brush off of another brush to do my splatter. Some people will use a toothbrush and then they kind of pull back the bristles and let it splatter. And for a lot of people that works very well. I have always found personally that it gives me very, very tiny splatters. But yeah, if you have a good splatter technique, please feel free to share that in the comments below, because we'd love to hear about it, and I'm sure that some of the others watching the video would like some different options. You just have to find the way that works best for you. But I'll show you a little close-up in a second of what it looks like, and it really is an effective technique. And I do love splatter, especially on eggs. It makes them look speckled like so many eggs in nature are. So here's that close-up. You can really see the speckles here. And here's the eggs on display. I really hope that you have learned something today and that you've enjoyed this tutorial. Again, all supplies that I used are available at ninnysnapkins.com. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.